Right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. For those who don't know me yet, I'm Amandine. I'm head of implementation. So in my team, we are welcoming any new clients, any new boats on the platform, setting them up, onboarding them. We make sure we, have their requirements, understand their need, and then we set them up, just tailor everything to what they need. We also make sure we train them. So whether it's a management company, family office, or crew, everyone receives the training to make sure they are fully confident and start using the system ASAP.
And those of you that don't know me, my name's Cate. I've been here about 3.5 years. Amandine and I joined roughly about the same time. And I head up the risk department here. So obviously that's everything, like from the risk that would impact the physical building right through to how we secure your data. And one of the obviously big things that we do here is we adhere to ISO 27001. It's a recognised standard. We've been recertified for the 3rd year running. And then another of the entities in our group have just finished their first certification as well, their 1st year. So it's something that we really take seriously and pride ourselves on at Voly. And we weave that through everything we do, from the day-to-day to the big projects. So as Amandine is going through and talking to you about security aspects around your accounts and around the Voly platform, I'm going to interject a few of those places just to tell you obviously best practices and what we would suggest.
Yeah, you will have plenty of insights for us, Cate, I'm sure. So let me share my screen. Let's get on the presentation. And today's webinar is about keep your Voly account safe and secure. So we'll be talking you through a few different areas on the system. So how we protect your data and your money on a general setting, access, cards, payments, all these very important topics when we talk about security. Hopefully giving you some useful tips or quick reminders as well. That's always good to take a guess. Right, should we get started? So I know, Cate, you've touched on ISO. You've recently got us you renewed the certification. It was not that long ago, 2 weeks ago, right?
Last week.
Yeah, we got renewed, so it's all up to date. You'll be all glad to know. We've all been signed off for another year. It was a lot of work. I know that Cate and her team spent a lot of time working through the audits. It's very intense, but yeah, happy we got another year renewed. It's very proud.
Thank you.
Perfect. Should I share my screen with you? Let's get on the
Please.
Voly platform. There you go. And let's get started. So the very first point, I guess, for any new user or existing users is the access to the Voly platform. So the Voly platform has been set up with a 2-factor authentication. So whether you are on the desktop version like here, so it's online, cloud-based, or on the Voly mobile app, you will always have the same set of login details, and you will always have 2 levels of security. So that's how we want to protect your data as much as possible. So I'm on my demo. My username is my email address. I have saved my first level of password on my laptop because it's mine. It's secure, it's safe. I've got a password protective Windows session, so it's all good. Obviously, if you're not on your laptop, might not be a good idea to save it on any other devices. So I'm logging in, and then I'm getting to the next layer of security, which is a passphrase. So again, like any banking app, really, you will be asked for 3 random characters from a passphrase that you can set up yourself. So you can pick whatever passphrase you'd like. And then that's how you can get onto the system right there.
Is it also worth mentioning around other authenticator apps as well, Amandine?
Yes, so if you don't want to use a passphrase for some reason, we have a few clients who'd rather use an authenticator app that you download on your phone, and then rather than you still have the first level, which is your password, rather than having to type your 3 characters from the passphrase, you will get into your app on the phone. You will get a 6-digit code that you will then enter on the Voly system. And I think the code on the app is valid for only 5 or 10 seconds and then renews every time. So again, that's how we make sure you are fully secure, whether you decide to go for the passphrase or the authenticator app.
Yeah, and please don't share your passwords with anyone either. it's very important that it's you that logs in so that your company can track what you're doing. And God forbid anybody was to log in and do something under your name. So please keep your passwords secure.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an audit trail as well on the system. So if, when you're logged in with your session, it's your name on it, whether you add a transaction or make a payment, that will be your name on it. Another good tip as well is, just in case you had to step away from your laptop or computer, emergency, on the deck or in the office, the system will automatically log out after 10 minutes. So if you haven't been active on the session, it will just get you out, just in case someone else, you haven't locked your laptop. Again, we can never be too careful. So you'll be logged out and you'll have to log in again. Now, if for some reason your login details have been compromised, it happens. We're all human. There's a way, it's a permission on the system. There's a way to block the user account. So whether it's one for you or for your crew, for example, that's something you can do. I won't be showing you where it is, but if you don't know where that is, or you're a new client and you want to get in touch, just let me know. We'll show you. But basically, you're deactivating the user logging, so no one can access the platform whatsoever. It's very easy to reactivate later if it was a false alarm, for example. It just takes a second really to deactivate and reactivate, but at least you are fully, confident that no one can access the platform, the money, and the cards online.
Perfect.
Right. So if I go to my boat, let's go to Titanic 2. Everything on the system is permission-led. The permissions are very granular. So let me go on my crew user permission so you can have a look. That's something you've never seen before. I'm going to open my purser permissions right here. So as you can see, there's a long list of permissions. And then you have 3 columns: view, add, and edit. So if you are a decision maker or an administrator on the system, you can decide who you want to give access to what, basically. Who can view data, transactions, money, who can add, action, anything. That's something you can do on different levels as well. So you can restrict the information users can see as much as possible, or just leave it a bit more open if that's something they need to work on, for example. And it's very easy if you have, again, another permission to change other users' permissions. Usually that's an administrator role. You would go and you just change the setting just like that, and it's done instantly. So you have full control over what users can do and see on the system.
Yeah. And we do advise as well that you try and segregate those permissions within the system so that you don't have the same person is able to set up a beneficiary, process a payment, and then approve the payment. It's just an extra layer of security. But also, besides any untoward behavior, it also helps capture any mistakes that can happen. So best practice is to make sure that you do put in the right level of permissions and access in there for you and your team.
Yeah, and that's something we can review. So when, there's a new boat or a new client coming on, that's something the implementation will review with you. I mean, it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes when you're not really confident on the system, but we help you really tailor everything. And, we write down your processes and we make sure everything is being, set up the way you would like to use it. Now, if you are an existing client and, you're not 100% sure that the permissions are set up right, whether it's for your team as administrator or for the crew, just get in touch, usually with your client relationship manager, and ask them to review everything with them. It's better to double check and make sure everything is still okay, still up to date. Because we also add new features on the system all the time. There's new permissions coming in as well. It will all be usually switched off if it's something a bit big by default. But again, that's something we can review on a regular basis with you. That's for permissions on the system for each individual user. Now let's talk about the chat. I think, Cate, you've got a few things to mention: chat and other contact channels, really.
We do. So obviously we know that clients like to contact us through whatever method is easier for you. And that for us can range from the chat functionality, which I think Amandine can just show you is in the corner there, if you don't already know where it is. We also get a lot of captains and crew contact us via WhatsApp. So whether that's a message or a call, and then obviously emails and phone. Now, it's very important that you know that we make sure that we're speaking to the right people. So it doesn't matter whether you contact us via the chat, phone, WhatsApp, etc. Before we go ahead and do something, we'll make sure we're in touch with the right person, and that's generally your decision maker if it comes to, say, changing permissions, etc. What we don't want is if you terminate somebody and you don't amend their settings quickly enough or cancel their cards, we don't want them coming on and asking things. If they did, I am confident enough to tell you that our staff would say we need the decision maker to actually request that for you. And that's just a level of security that we need to have in place to protect you and your clients as well, and your funds. It takes a few seconds to go through security, and I know it can be a little bit of a bugbear for some people because you don't have the time to answer those extra questions, but it's so much easier to answer a couple of questions at the beginning than it is to go through the process of trying to recoup funds that have been lost. So just bear with us when we go through those questions, and we make sure that we're protecting you and your staff.
Yeah, there you go, Sarah. Just asking a few security questions, and when it goes to, sometimes the crew get in touch on board that they want to change their permissions. There's a few problems, or they need to do something. Again, like Cate mentioned, we never just go and change their permissions. Obviously, there are some important ones like loading the cards or making a payment, but even just visibility on transactions. So we know that you have sensitive data, and not everyone is allowed to see them. So we would always double check with the decision maker, whether it's the administrator or the captain, for example. Everyone is different, but we would not just change permission there and on the chat.
Yeah, and the security questions will change as well. So don't think that those are the same questions that pop up all the time, because they're not.
Exactly. We've got a list of different questions we can ask you. But if it's you, it shouldn't be difficult to answer. You should know, really. Right, let me close the chat. Sarah's done a good job. There you go. Moving on to
cards and pins.
Yes, absolutely. So card, when we talk about security, the card is, are an important one. We all hear these days everywhere, not only in the yachting industry, that cards are being hacked and so on. So it's even more critical for us. One of our big products are the Voly prepaid cards. So there are obviously quite a few measures in place to make sure, the cards are secure, and we do our best to prevent anything happening with the cards. So first one, PIN, I guess. Two options for the PIN. The first one is you can get when you get a new card, or if you forgot your PIN, you can go on the desktop version. In your settings, under My Account, you will have a button to send a PIN reminder via text. Double check, make sure you have the right phone number saved under your account on the system. That's something you can check on My Account and under in the Voly mobile app, because the text will be sent to the phone number attached to the account. So that's one option. Second option for the PIN is via the mobile app, which is even quicker. You have a section to have a PIN reveal on the new mobile app. So once you are in the mobile app, you log in, obviously. You have to enter your password to get to the PIN, or if you have set up biometrics, so face recognition, for example, once you've passed that stage, you will have your PIN revealed for, I think it's a few seconds, or until you turn it off. So that's a good one as well. Make sure you're
secure when you do that as well. You don't want to do it with a cafe full of people behind you having a good look at what your PIN is and then lifting your card from you.
Yeah, absolutely. PIN is done. Next is loading the card. So for people who are not familiar with our Voly card, they are prepaid MasterCards. So the funds will be sent to the Voly Money account. Let me show you. We're going to go one of those big pages on the top into banking. This is where you'll be able to find your accounts and cards. I'm going to scroll down, and these are my Voly Money accounts. So the funds will be transferred to one of your Voly Money accounts. Again, it's a permission. You can decide who can view the accounts and who can transfer funds from the account to the card. That's the next step. You're going to be loading the card from the account right here, another permission on the system. So if you notice any fraudulent transactions, for example, if you think you've lost your card or if there's anything suspicious with the card, best practice is just go and unload the card. I'll show you in a minute how to do it, and then suspend the card. So that these are the two steps. You know nothing will happen, and then contact us so we can investigate. So to unload the card, we're going to go back to my dashboard right here, and we're going to go to my Voly Money summary. These two steps can be done instantly, so you don't have to wait. It's done literally instantly. So I'm going to go to my Euro account. I've got 2 Euro cards. I don't really have any money, but let's pretend I've got plenty. You have a button, unload card, permission on the system, and then you just, whatever is left on the card, if it's 1,000, you just unload the card and send the money back to the Voly Money account. As soon as you've clicked unload card, the money has left the card. You can't go into negative with the card. So, if the balance is back to zero, that is it. Whoever has your card cannot spend any money on your behalf. Yeah. So that's step one, unload the card. And then step two, you can stay on here, but it can be done from banking. You can see my 2 cards are active. I can click on them to suspend them. Do you want to suspend the card? Yes, absolutely. And again, it is done instantly. So it's suspended, frozen. Some banking institutions are using the term frozen. Again, you have no money left on your card is suspended, no one can use it. And then from there, you can contact us and we'll follow the steps for whether it's a lost card, we'll cancel it. If it's fraudulent transactions, we will have a form for you to investigate.
Yeah. Okay. And I can't stress enough from a security point of view that it's important that if you're unsure if you've lost it or not, or it's gone missing, it's best to unload the card and suspend it. It takes seconds to do, and it'll take seconds to reactivate and load the funds for you again. It's better to do that than try and recuperate the funds afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something you can do, those 2 steps from the mobile app as well. So even if you're on the go, just do it straight away. It's done instantly. And then very typically, 2 minutes later, you find your card behind the sofa. It's all good. You can reactivate the card the exact same way, and then you can reload funds onto your card to carry on your day-to-day job as usual.
Perfect. Thank you. I suppose some of the other things that are really prevalent to us at the moment is obviously phishing. You can't really go anywhere at the moment without hearing about phishing attacks. And obviously I'm talking around the emails, not the phishing. It's quite sad. What they do is they prey on people being vulnerable, and that can be that it's late at night. They make you panic. So normally the phishing usually comes with a link that asks you to confirm that this is you, because they want to stop a transaction, or they really need for you to verify something, or they think there's a fraudulent transaction taking place on your account and we just need for you to identify yourself, etc. What I can tell you is Voly will never send you an email with a link asking you to verify your account details or to verify that it's you. You may get some welcome emails or some marketing material from us that offer links that will take you to view things, but we will never ask you for your actual personal details or your card details. So if you get those, what we'd like you to do, and this is in any scenario, is just take a breath, just take a moment to have a think and don't react to it. There are usually little tells on there that tell you that they are actually phishing emails, and usually one of them is bad grammar. Another one will be that the email address that it's being sent from isn't the genuine email address. You can usually see there's a few other things on there as well, but whether it's an email or you get a phone call or a text, what we advise you to do is to just not interact with it at all and actually email your account manager, or actually phone your account manager or WhatsApp them, because they will be able to tell you what's going on. So just take a moment, don't panic, contact Voly, and then we will go through those processes with you.
Yeah, some of them are very elaborate. I mean, as a user, some of the emails I receive on my personal email address, it can be quick when you read, you've got a million emails, like, all of us, you just go through it quickly. It can be very confusing, but yeah, these days it's just very important to double check. Something else is we will never ask for your PIN, your card number, nothing like that. In an email or on the phone.
Card. No.
Yeah, ever. So the only number we will be asking you if it's a query related to a card, a Voly prepaid card, is the 9-digit number on the card. So actually, that's something you can check in two different ways. So not the long 16 digits. That's something we will never, ever ask you, ever, any channel. But there's a card ID 9-digit long. If you are on the software, it's right here, ID. That's the 9 digits. And I've actually taken a picture of my card. Hopefully
Please
I've
tell me you
managed.
haven't. We don't do
Hopefully
pictures.
I've managed to hide all the other fields. I hope I'm not going to get in trouble here.
You
Kids,
might.
is that okay? That's
Okay.
the 9. That's the 9 card ID that we will be asking you. Not this one, not this one, nothing like that. That's the one we will be asking for you. That's the only information we will ever ask from you. Was that okay, Kate?
That was okay, Amandine.
Not in trouble? Good.
Not right now.
In terms of fraudulent transactions and so on as well, we have a monitoring in place. If we detect anything suspicious, different locations and so on, we will usually block the transaction and suspend the card, and then we will get in touch with you to let you know that there's something a bit suspicious, and double check whether it was you or not who made that transaction. So it might be that we get in touch with you to double check and confirm. If you spot anything yourself, obviously get in touch as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And suspend the card.
Absolutely. And never click a link.
Good.
Yep.
That's about the cards, really. Now, another important one on the system is payments. So you can make payments from the Voly Money accounts from the platform. And that, again, security is absolute key. We know you are making big payments to your suppliers. So that's something we want to make sure is fully protected. So first step is when you add your sales on the system, there's a few checks in place. So if I go to my contacts, I have my list of suppliers. There you go. And then I'm going to add my bank details right here. So currently, the system will check, we've got an external validation source. The system will check that the IBAN is valid, exists, and that the BIC code, the SWIFT ACH code is matching with the IBAN. Now, we are taking it one step further, and by the end of the year, we should have the name matching as well. So the system will check that the IBAN, BIC, SWIFT, account number, anything like that, will be matching with your supplier name. So you'll know that it will be a full match altogether. That's for your beneficiary details. Again, you can add an approval step as well if you wanted to. Making a payment on the Voly system is always a two-step process. The first step is you go and add your payment. By default, it's usually set to 2 different people. That's something we can change. We can discuss your requirement whenever you get in touch with us. But first is add the payment from here. And then your payment has not been released just yet at this stage. You're going to go to your approvals page. And you're going to go and confirm the payment, release the payment. That's what we called executing on the system right here. So pay now. You still have the opportunity to double check that everything is right. And at this stage, you should have received a 6-digit security code by text or on your Authenticator app, if that's something you've set up. And then you'll be able to release the money only once you've entered the code. So again, we want to make sure it's you and only you sending this money. It's you on your session right now.
Okay.
I think that's about it for cards, payments. What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, no, I think we've pretty much covered everything that anybody will use within the system. And again, just to reiterate that everything that has been put in place here is all part of our information security management system. As Amandine said, we've just been recertified, and we make sure that we do take this seriously. We put you at the heart of everything we do when it comes to the sensitivity and the security of your data. And that's from retention right the way through to any execution that we do. I think actually there are some questions, Amandine.
Perfect. Yes, please feel free to ask any questions you might have.
So the first one that I can see is what would I do if I think there's a transaction I don't recognize on my card? I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So again, best practice is go and unload the card so you make sure there's no funds left. Suspend the card as well. So that's 2 steps you can do on the system or on the mobile app as well. And then contact us. Contact us, whether it's an email, phone, WhatsApp, chat. We will send you a form with a few questions to get information about the transactions themselves, and we will investigate.
Okay.
And then if you realize the card has been compromised, we will just cancel the card altogether and send you a new one.
Okay. So another question's just popped in. Do you have a fraud team or compliance team that would investigate the fraud cases? We do. So our program team, they actually separated into some mini teams within that, and one of them take full responsibility for liaising with clients and with our money partners regarding any potential fraud, etc. Right through to making sure that you either get your funds back and ordering you new cards and everything. So they'll take you through every single step of that process from starting to finish. So I hope that answered that question for you. Another one that I've had sent through is, if I'm on a chat with my account manager or somebody from Voly, will they ask me for my full card number? So I think we've probably already touched on this, Amandine.
Yeah, so that should only be the 9-digit card number. Again, don't give us, please, the 60-digit number. Same again, don't send us a picture of the full card because we have all your details then. That's not something we want, really. So only the 9-digit card ID, really. That's all we will ever ask for.
Okay. I think that's it for the questions at the moment. Has anybody else got any more?
And I guess if you have any more questions, even after this webinar, feel free to email us or contact us. We'll be more than happy to answer any queries, any questions you might have.
Absolutely. Okay.
Good.
Well, thank you. It's been great. I mean, I love security, so I'm quite sad. Well, there's our little ISO certificates.
Yes, very, very good. Very satisfying. Okay, well, that's about it for today then. Let's announce the next webinar. So that will be in 2 weeks' time. That will be our lovely Joe and Georgia presenting on Wednesday, the 28th of August. And they will be talking about the top 10 most asked questions about Voly. So I'm sure if you have any questions you have never asked us, they will probably be in the top 10. Feel free to join, get your questions ready as well. There will be a Q&A at the end of that webinar as well. So any questions you might want us to answer, come and ask us. Another thing as well, again, that you've got our email addresses if you want to get in touch. And we will be sending you an email shortly with the recording of the webinar. So if you want to look back or share with your colleagues, feel free to. That will be sent by email shortly.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.